This is Market Day Report. We're glad you're with us for another trading day. We've been up and moving the markets here, the day session trading for nearly 14 minutes. And this is in front of today's World Ag Supply Demand Estimates report, the WASDE, 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll get that. Not expecting really any earth-shaking news, if you will, out of that. But again, anytime you get a USDA report, there's an opportunity for the market to move. Market's moving. What's happening right now? Corn is higher across the board. This is after two straight sessions in the red. We did get a flash sale reported to South Korea overnight, 5.4 million bushels of corn. Old crop penny higher, 448 1/4, and the December at 476 3/4. As it settles, it's moving up 3/4 of a penny. We're 6.5 higher on May beans, 1168 1/2, while November trades 1157 3/4. Make that 1158 now, and that's up 6 on beans. How about the wheat market here? Chicago in July up 2.5, 593 3/4. Can it reclaim that 6 handle before the end of the session? We lost it yesterday. Hard red, 615 1/4 on the July. That's up 3 1/4. And finally, over to the cotton market. Cotton, look out, 76-cent cotton for December. I think that would have been somewhere back in 2024, the last time we saw 76-cent cotton on the new crop. It's up 59 points. Brady Huck's with EmpowerAg Trading. I'm still just kind of shocked over the cotton move here after nearly 2 years of no movement at all. But what are you watching here in the markets?
Yeah, it was 76-cent cotton. That's a new contract high on that D's contract here for a while. Been a while since we've seen a number like that. I don't know that it buys any acres from in my area. You know, we're on the northern fringe of the cotton belt up here in southern Kansas. But you get past, keep that market going, and maybe we'll get something exciting. So the seas have calmed though after the midweek storm in the grain markets. Grains are firmer overnight, filling Tuesday's gaps. Charts are holding those key moving averages. Got a rebound in crude, helping support the grain complex, Tony.
Yeah, you mentioned that rebound in crude back up above 100 for a while. Is that going to be the central focus of all of the commodity markets for a while?
It certainly feels like we're still trading energy markets. They're leading the ship. They're driving the bus right now. Eventually, we will transition into watching other things, U.S. weather, planting progress. But right now, it's still all about the conflict in the Middle East. And we've got some stability today after the big sell-off that we've seen midweek. We're bouncing back. But what is the next card that gets turned over here, and where are we going to go from here? So we've got crude up $4 to $5 a barrel today. We're $8 to $9 a barrel off of yesterday's low. We're still about $18 off of Tuesday's high. So big ranges in your energy markets. What's the next move? The bottom line, Middle East situation remains fragile. The Strait of Hormuz ceasefire. That situation can change quickly, Tony, and we're all waiting for that next headline, I guess.
You said crude was driving the bus, and if the wheels go round and round, round and round, don't we have to keep an eye on the diesel market as well?
The energy markets are also moving, and we can talk a little bit about that and how that affects beef markets in the next segment. But yeah, energy markets are driving the bus. On the grain side, though, you've talked about the April WASDE. We've got that today. We'll see if there's any demand adjustments. I think traders are going to be looking on the demand side of the balance sheet, and also global crops, Argentina, Brazil. Will there be any adjustments on that front of the balance sheet?
All right, looking there at the 6-month on corn and beans. Well, you mentioned livestock, so let's take a break. We'll come back and pick that conversation up with Brady Huck. This is Market Day Report. So I've been looking here at the weekly export sales report. Pork sales declining to about 31,300 metric tons, led by Mexico, smaller volumes to China. We know that there's some issues with pork in China. Could that open the door for more exports? And speaking of actual exports, they slipped from the prior week. Mexico remains our dominant destination. Well, this is what's happening in the hog market right now. We're down a half buck on the May, 95.87, and the July trades at 107.02, and that is 67 lower. What about the cattle market? Feeders, are they the leaders today? Well, we're on both sides of the trade. April down 57. That one expires in, a couple of weeks now? 370.10. The May at 367.85 down 15, and then gains of a dime to 20 cents on August, September, and October. That's feeders. And then we wrap up here with live cattle, because this will chase cash trade this week, and I've heard some bids of $250. Brady Huck's with EmpowerAg Trading. Have you heard that as well, 250s?
It certainly feels like steady to higher is expected. The asks are up there, and we'll see what the trade actually comes in here as we get through the rest of the week.
Yeah, and again, when we talked about the energy markets earlier, you said could have an impact on the livestock. How so?
Right. Yeah, diesel prices at the pump. What are consumers paying? How is their pocketbook doing? That's one of the biggest questions here, I think, and one of the biggest issues in the beef market going forward is what's going to happen with the consumer's pocketbook and their willingness to buy beef. They've been resilient source of demand, insatiable flavor, taste for American beef. They want American beef, and that's been unprecedented going forward. So fundamentals haven't changed on the cattle market, but markets don't go up forever, Tony, and we've had great prices staring at us in the face. We'll see how long they last here.
Okay. Again, we continue to talk about the whole demand issue at this point. But again, you come back to the choice select spread and you see what we're actually producing. No, what you're producing, because I know you're doing it there locally. You're putting together a great product right now.
Right. The quality of American beef has never been what it is today. We've got high quality beef out there. It's irreplaceable out there. Yeah, we're breeding heifers this week, actually setting them up for next year's calving, and it's a busy time out there in ranch country. We're getting calf crop taken care of, calving out across the heartland of the Midwest, and then getting ready to turn these cattle out on grass, which we need some rain to get us some grass. You look at the drought conditions out there, and the intensity of cattle in drought continues to increase. I think we're about 64%, 68%, somewhere in there of cattle area that's in drought, and the intensity continues to increase. So will there be green grass? Farmers, ranchers get a little grass fever. If we've got green grass out there in the pastures, we got to fill those pastures up. So it'll be interesting to see how this spring unfolds, how pasture conditions look, the weather, a lot of pieces of the puzzle happening right now, Tony.
Okay, Brady, probably the toughest question I can ask you right now dealing with growing grass in a pasture. If you don't have cattle to harvest and to mow that down, how does a producer manage that rangeland, that pasture land?
Right. Yeah. No, and it creates a fire hazard if you don't go out there and do something about it. So you got green grass out there. You want to go buy stockers. You got to load them up and run some yearlings on that summer forage, or you're going to hay it. You're going to do something if we get the grass. So, but right now, Tony, we need the rain to make that grass happen.
Yeah. What does it rain make? Okay, I won't sing it. Brady, great to see you. Brady Huck's with EmpowerAg in Dodge City.